Good evening, beautiful souls. Welcome to Free Flowing Thoughts. We are 1 hour usually behind schedule today, but we're going to make it happen. Our guest has finally arrived. So today on Free Flowing Thoughts, we have Andre, located in New York, but from Jamaica. And our topic of the hour is going to be the oneness of relationships to the source of all things. So thank you guys for rolling with me at 9 as opposed to 8. I appreciate you. As we jump straight in, let's see if we can find Andre. Hi everyone. Hey Bex. Hello. He has arrived. How you
Finally.
doing? How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm great so far. You know, in life, gotta expect the unexpected at times.
100%. All right, so let's get into it slowly for those who's just arrived. Thank you guys. Welcome to Free Flowing Thoughts, and welcome to those if it's your first time viewing our show. Today we have Andre, who's located in America but from Jamaica, and his topic of the hour is a very unique title. So what should we call it? The oneness of relationships to the source of all things. We're going to break that down in different layers, dimensions today. But before we get into all those layers, I'm going to start with, how was your day? Let's get into some warm-up questions.
All right, today, honestly, was a hectic one. But nevertheless, you know, when you have strong faith, you know, that creates ways that we can't even try to imagine the ways that we create when we have faith within self. So, you know, it was a hectic day, but I'm here, you know, to make it happen, to speak my mind, to speak the vine, all right?
Okay, well, thank you for gracing us with your presence, may I say so.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so let's jump straight in with some warm-up questions. Let's get ourselves just in oneness and relaxed, and whilst people watch into our living room right now in this conversation, guys, if possible, share this live. Tell a friend to tell a friend. So, all right, who is Andre? And do you want to give us your AKA, which I find difficult to pronounce?
All right, so first and foremost, to classify myself is like a multifaceted person, right? Yeah, it's like I am what I am, which means I shall always be me and more of myself at all times, because this is my physical self, but there's much more to me, right? So I'm a multifaceted person, multi-vibrational person, multi-talented person. I'm a person that deals with multiplicity. That means I know that life keeps multiplying, so I need more life. As long as I'm existing in life, I give more life. I cherish life. I build life, which is light. All right, so
I
that's
love
me
that
right there.
answer. I love it because, let me see, 8 times out of 10, every time I do a live talk, I always ask, who is so-and-so? Who are you? And everybody says, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a mother, I'm an author. That's not who you are. That's what you do. Those are bows and handles. So I shouldn't be surprised that that's your answer, because I don't say who I am is anything I do. You know, we're all vibration, as you said. So that's a wonderful answer. I love it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a wonderful answer. So confirm for us, you are born and raised in Jamaica, but now currently living in New York. Yeah?
That's correct.
Would you like to share the inspiration for that move, or is that personal?
It is personal, but yeah, I can share it. I'm from Mandeville, Manchester, Jamaica, in a community called Greenvale. It's a very tough place. It's like trench town. It's like a Kingston vibration, right? And I've always like tell myself like, yeah, you know that I just feel that there's something unique about myself, which everybody's supposed to feel that thing within them, right? That light, that spark. So at the age of 5, I just start realizing certain things about myself and about this world. And, you know, growing up in Greenville was very challenging, you know, rough times, rough days. And, you know, it was just so critical in certain ways where in my life it was always like a challenge, you know, facing certain, you know, vibration with people because I consider myself to be an empath, right? And, you know, feeling people emotion and vibrations at times can be very critical to a younger individual. And I believe like my parents and whosoever took the time out to take care of me, right, didn't really see that. And it was a challenge growing up, you know, in Greenville. So, you know, leaving my country, coming to the United States, you know, is something that, you know, opened up my eyes to a wider perception of myself and about people. So, you know, making that travel here is just to build myself more, that I can have the strength, the knowledge to build others within this area of life too and back home.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing those
Yeah.
elements. Life can be a roller coaster. So I'm glad you made that transition. I'm glad it's working for you. Can you tell us a
Thank
slice
you.
of what you were like as a child? Yeah, sir.
All
Expect
right.
that, did you? Let's some warm-up questions before we get into the actual topic of the live. I love doing that.
All right. So Andre Davy as a child was, you know, still mysterious. As I said before, as a child, I realized a whole lot of things. I
Yeah.
realized that I was just different into a category to myself. Not boasting, not saying that, oh, I'm better than other people, but it's just an early realization of myself that even today I'm still questioning myself, like, why am I so different?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
you
can
know,
relate.
growing up, yeah, happy you can. Happy you can. So growing up as a child, I was, you know, I had like thoughts of cruel thoughts, like wicked, vicious thoughts, right? And I realized why, you know, growing up, I figured out certain things
Okay.
growing up. Yes. And back then I used to go through scenarios of not sleeping because I would have like things messing out around me in the night. Like I can remember one time I wanted to sleep so much, and then this thing out of nowhere came and just pressed down the bed, right? And
Okay.
I went through multiple situations like that. And I'm not talking about no sleep paralysis nor anything like that, right? There were moments where things, entities came and visit me. But I'm gonna break that down
We're
to
gonna
the
have another
nitty
live
gritty.
about that, aren't we? Supernatural,
Yeah,
spiritual, stuff, everything. Yeah. So that's
all,
okay.
all of that. But what I came to understand is that our minds can be so powerful that we create certain scenarios in our life on a physical, mental, spiritual, metaphysical state.
Yeah.
So yeah, going through life as a child was, you know, meeting with those supernatural, you know, events from an early age, right? And things that I cannot explain today.
So
It's just
you mentioned,
fascinating.
can we go back a little bit? You mentioned that you, as a younger you, version of you, you had cruel thoughts. You say you've already connected psychologically those dots. So clearly it was a, spiritual, whether it's spiritual warfare, many people have different references for that. Did you ever play out those thoughts?
This is tough. Yeah. At one point, hurting so much, right? I told a bunch of people this, and I don't care, what people think, that was my past,
Yeah,
right?
flow.
And I'll speak about it because, a lot of people are facing emotional trauma, emotional dis-ease in life that continues to create certain scenarios moving forward, all right? So when I was a child,
Yeah.
there was like 3 dogs in my yard, right? Where, at that point I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And honestly, this sounds very critical, it's mind provoking, it's harsh. I'm not like that anymore. Anyways, yeah, I killed 3 dogs by hanging them because,
Oh.
yeah, that's terrible. And today it's affecting me going forward, right? Knowing that, I actually did that and I wasn't paying attention to the thought waves at that time. It was all emotional,
Yeah.
right? So basically, that happened. Now I'm realizing that people, however, right, it's sometimes the thoughts that create the wave of action, right? And all of us going through some emotional problems along the way that keeps affecting our action moving forward. So back then, as I said, I had like crucial thoughts, cruel thoughts, and this can be seen in my rising sign. I'm a Scorpio riser, right? So knowing that I'm a Scorpio riser now, and the study of a Scorpio riser shows certain events that might be playing out in my life from that time to now. Yeah. So it's all about that deep thought, deep thinking, emotional sort of EQ, to my connectivity of life, and I've mastered certain things about myself, elevating in life.
Well,
So
thank you
yeah.
so much. I'm going to take this time right here for sharing that. Because I
Sure.
always say many people come on platforms, many hosts speak on platforms or have their own platform, but they never convey themselves. They have to be seen as this perfect being. And so every child is born in the energy of innocence, whether it's ancestry, DNA, that is, every child has that innocence. So when you said, yeah, I know that's bad, it didn't even cross my mind to say it's bad. I'm thinking of psychological, the spiritual. So thank you for sharing that snapshot. I would love to explore it more on a second live. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
Yeah.
All right. So you're sharing elements of what you like as a child. I'm going to ask you another warm-up question before we get into the actual title of this live. How does your friends and family describe you now as Andre the adult?
Well, they see me as a very loving person, caring person, a person that, blows their mind away when I speak. I know they see me as very loving. That's all I can say. I'm a loving, caring person, a person that will see an old lady in the road and try to help her along the way. That's me. People hate me and people love me. But my family, yeah, they have that deep, love connection towards me.
So when I ask how your friends and family describe you, that also tied in for you, kind of mirroring what they think of you is what you think of yourself then. Is that correct?
What I think about myself is more than that, because I'm me. People perceive me to be what they think I am. They gotta really know me. Now, to a certain degree, some of my family members know me to that level, especially my grandma. My grandma, yeah, she see the light in me, right?
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so, some people, like friends, they might misjudge me or, feel like I'm, a show off or, as a person that wants to be seen when I'm just being myself, shining the light that's within me, my light of truth, my light of knowing what I know, and what I know can help people to have a better perspective in life. That's
But
me.
you know, it's interesting. I always pick certain introduction vibrational questions because, again, guys, when I asked earlier about, who are you, and like who do you think you are, or what is your family and friends? How would they describe you? No one ever gives anything negative, which is unrealistic. So it's very telling when we hear each other speak or hear yourself speak back. Everyone has something that's not going to be A1 superstar. It's going to be something. So
Yeah.
it's a nice introduction. Okay, so your topic of the hour.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Get,
Let me
get
try and get
into it.
them out. Let me try and get the mouthful again. So the oneness of relationships to the source of all things. That's so ambiguous. That can mean so many layers. So
Mhm.
firstly, like, where did the inspiration of that even come from? To want to discuss that title
Yeah.
that's so massive.
So basically, when we spoke, right?
Mhm.
Just like a epiphany,
Yeah.
and that's how my energy work. It's a spontaneous vibration, and sometimes while speaking with people, the thought, the energy of what is supposed to be just click. And
Mhm.
when that epiphany came to me, it just synchronized with everything that we spoke about. It just like a light bulb over my head,
All
right?
right. So before we put all the lights on in the house, as the light bulb's gone off, yeah, let's
Hmm.
break it down a little bit. So let me start with relationships, another ambiguous kind of word and title. When you hear the word relationships, what's the first thing that comes to your mind as we break down that whole, statement that you want to go into in layers?
All right. So you're saying like what relationship means to me, right?
Yeah, to you as an individual.
Relationship is a connectivity not just to the physical being, but the spiritual, the mental faculty of a human being connecting to another person,
Yeah.
right? This is pure electromagnetism when we connect to people, right? And on an intimacy level, it should be connected through the vibratory field of love.
Mm-hmm.
So relationship is about connection. It's about understanding self to understand another being, to allow that energy to flow.
100% the energy exchange. So what's
Yeah.
your idea, or what's your ideal? What do you classify as a successful relationship to you?
A successful relationship
Mm,
is the same connectivity, right?
yeah.
If you see that thing or you feel such connection towards a person, you already know that that person have something within them to explore. You need to know why is that person like that, why you feel such a way to that individual,
Mm,
right? It's all about that connection, right? It's all about understanding yourself to understand another individual. Basically what I said before. So if me don't understand nor love myself, how just tell me, how can I understand another person and love another person if that is not within me?
yeah, it has to
So
be within you. 100% has to be within you, of course. Mm-hmm.
got to, because that's the only way you're gonna see it and feel it within another person.
Mm. But
Yeah.
interestingly enough, we hear that statement a lot. Like, how could somebody cannot love you if they don't love themselves? But I think there can be a little bit of a unhinged version to that, because I think you do have to have it in you to be able to obviously project love. But there are many people that love others more than they love themselves.
Yeah,
Many
that's
people, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but many
Mhm.
people are able to project more care for somebody else. Like, I'm a support worker in certain fields, yeah? And
Mhm.
throughout my transitions in the career of health and social care, the majority of support workers are so energetic about, I'm a support worker, I've got this degree. But when I look at them and how they live, or how they project their physical state. You don't take care of yourself, but you're a great support worker. You're a great support worker to everybody else. So for me, I do feel like there's a little bit of an unhinged version there where people are able to overtake care of others more than themselves.
Yeah, all right. You're right.
Which I have looked into, which I don't do. I no longer subscribe to that.
I mean, all right. This is the thing that I get to overstand, right? All of us are vibrating on certain levels of energies that we exchange different vibration from, each other, because this is a ripple effect, whether we like it or not, right? And based on the zodiac signs, that have a lot to say about individuals, because there's a certain blueprint to all of us, and that blueprint has different layers and expressions in different ways that it takes a mind that understand this reality or this realm to have that understanding, to know that, all right, this is the way that person is based on that. All right, they give love maybe based off of unconditional vibratory energies within them. Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's an inner thing. It's a pure, natural, innermost vibration that make people do certain things, like give all the love in the world to other people, but because they know that they have so much love within themselves, it's like they don't really care, because their love is unconditional, not conditioned in a state where
you've gone straight into it. All right, so check this out. Very good point you made. Check this out. When you say that some people have so much love, that I think there's a lot of truth in that. On the flip side, there are people that's yearned love, never had love, but it's from childhood up. So their ideals of what it feels like to manifest that love is what they project, but they've never had it. Never had it. And that's a whole fact. That's a whole fact. Especially those who've been neglected from parenthood, or they never had the nurturing from their mother. They go either way. But for the side that I have come across, who is so passionately loving, they've never had it. It's the ideal of what they crave, what they give.
Yeah, you're right about that. But
the childhood, and as for myself, I'm going to chop it up with you differently today. A bit more chit chat with Silver than a strategic interview. Yeah, so I can then work a little bit with you.
Yeah.
You see, when I meet somebody, if the vibration feels, whether it's wrong or right, in that moment of timing, I will ask one key question: introduce me to the boy in you. I've done it on a first date, and they're like, "What?" Yeah, I see the man, I see the ego, I see, what you want me to see, but introducing you to the girl in me is going to have you understand the woman in me now. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you studied, watched, learned from books, YouTube, whatever deepness. There is a man, boy, and a woman, girl in every being. It doesn't get lost. Often it's dormant, and sometimes it comes out in negative or positive ways.
Love that.
You feel me?
Yep.
I see relationships as a waltz, and sometimes as a tango. It's all psychology. So yeah, carry on.
I really love the way you put that, because it goes back to that yin and yang. And we know we're going to touch on that, right? It's that feminine and masculine energy that all needs to understand that, right? That within us is that chi flow energy, right? It's that magnetic and electrical vibration within us that we call it DNA and RNA too, right? The spiral of those energies are what masculinity and feminine energy is about. A man should understand what their feminine energy is, their nurturing energy. Likewise, they promote that masculinity so much It has to be a balance in order to move forward. Anything not balanced is gonna be a problem going forward. It doesn't work like that. So in relationships, it has to be a balance between both. And that's where I said before that individuals need to understand themselves first and love themselves to that core to actually know what that real love is, connecting to another individual. No, not everybody will grasp that because we have been through so much trauma and drama along the way with this systematical way of life that there's so much contradictions of the mind and the heart where it leads to a whole different level of scenario that causes problems with us as people. With the mind and with the heart and with all that said, our bodies don't function the way it's supposed to function going through those problems, those traumas and dramas. For real.
We're very resilient, though, I would say, mostly, because I often say that I'm a spiritual being going through a human journey. And I believe, just my belief, remember, belief and knowing is two different things. So firstly, I believe that from the umbilical cord and moving forwards with no influences other than those walls of the womb, I was a spiritual being. I'm a spiritual being born into influences.
Born into influences. I love that.
You feel me?
That's real.
But even if I'm in mommy's womb, I'm still influenced from the womb. I know that. What she eats, how she feels, whether she's sad or happy, I know that I'm feeling that. We're feeling that. Okay, we come out exactly as who we're supposed to be from before we were even a seed. And then you come out and you're influenced from media, neighbors, teachers, parents, siblings. And if you're lucky to obtain your original vocation or calling, wow. And that's why people like me and you feel that little difference. But that's a whole nother topic.
That's real. That's real. I love that, Silver.
Some people are born for different things. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah. So carry on.
So, right. When I break it down to the level of, one understanding the boy in them and the girl in them. It can be a confusion to many why we say that. But we gotta understand that for us to be here, it took a man and a woman to create that life. To give life, our light, because a physical body obtains light.
Come on now.
Yeah. So with that life being here on this plane, it is the only way to access true divinity of self is through the same balance of that yin and yang, right? Reaching to the heart space of love to know what true, divine, real, authentic love is to have that within that space, right? So if individuals really know what true divine love is, there won't be any war in this world. There won't be any form of criticizing and hating along the way that these beings continue to cause on the people, right? No matter how much we think we know, if we don't pass this vibratory energy within the heart, in the heart space, is all influences we're picking up. Because the key of Solomon, right, between the heart space and the mind, the two chambers, is to master the vibratory field of love, to know what true love is, not to use dominancy and power, which is a masculine way of doing things. No, moving forward, just being a masculine warrior without nurturing. No, you're going to get F-U-C-K along the way because there's no balance within self. And what we need is to have the yin and yang connected together, which goes back all the way down to the RNA and DNA being connected to give that spiral flow of energy of oneness. No, that's where we need to go to. Once we understand that oneness of life and know that for an individual to make it into what they call heaven, which is a mind space too, right? You gotta have that in your heart. This is the fuel for verbal speaking or non-physical thing, and having the power of the mind, which is liberation of the mind. Once we have that, anybody that know what love is, real connection and real connectivity is, will see that within other people. When two people come together, they become one in that vibration because of that connection of love. That's the realest way of having a true levity in life, is through the connection of love. That means if Rastaman say, yo, his way is the way, and Christian say his way is the way, and it goes, the story goes on. If they don't have real, authentic love within themselves, they can't know the one way, the only way, and the true way is that through the love connection, right? And every prophet or all of those people who came along the way, they had symbols for those people. Jesus had the heart in his chest for a reason. All of these superhero movies have a symbol on their chest for a reason, because there's
What is
the
that
only
reason,
place.
do you think?
It means that's where you find balance, that's where you find your power, that's where you find the connection to your soul.
It makes sense. So, all right. So, just before I came on the live, guys, let's pause for a moment. Hi, guys. Whoever's jumping on and off the live, once again, thank you for staying with us. And for those who've missed this live, I hope you get to watch the playback when this video gets posted after this conversation. So, guys, for those who's jumping on and on, we're speaking to Andre, who's located in America, but is from Jamaica. And it's primarily on relationships and oneness. And we're just having a chit chat with Silver, not so much interview today, so it's more relaxed. So feel free to add your little comments also, and we can go back and read that a little bit later. Yeah, Andre?
Yeah.
All right. So if we're talking about oneness, okay, and I think I said to you, and I actually spoke to someone in the inbox just before doing this live about unconditional and what I think and what I don't believe and whatever, or don't subscribe to. But if we're talking about oneness, okay, and so many people feel like they have the key and they know, and they're preaching and they're doing seminars and they know. Naturally, if I claim to be at one with myself, where I'm not always one with myself, and I said this to you the other day, I said, are you saying, Andre, that you're always at one with self? You said yes. I said, you're the only walking human being that I know who can do that. Because it doesn't seem realistic to me. I feel like every day is a challenge. If someone says I am more in alignment than not, we're living in the Babylon system. I personally don't know how I could be the epitome of oneness with my divine self being in the Babylon matrix system.
Yeah.
That feeds my energy flow of so much politics. Let's put it like that.
All right.
Yeah.
I can answer that very neatly for you. All right. What you in life, in understanding what an alchemist is the same way of, what you take in and changing it into something much more better. If everybody continues to push that negative vibration to me, I'm going to feel it. But what I do with that feeling, that's where, that is seen. Like, am I going to give back that same toxic energy, or I'm going to just turn it into something much more worthwhile to another individual?
Rechanneling and redirecting of self. I get it.
Yeah. So me saying that I'm always in oneness within myself is being connected to my true self, my real self. Right? Knowing that we go through a up and down situation within this system, right? How we channel the energy, that's how, I'm gonna rephrase that, like, how you channel the energy, it shows certain outcomes of the action, right? So some people, can't really, do that based on their blueprint. Not everybody is the same in a physical body, yes, but what lives within us on a genetical standpoint, to a soul vibration standpoint, to how the energy is flowing within us has a lot to say about individuals, about people, right? Some of us here are reincarnated. Some of us are incarnated, right? Some of us came here with the genetical coding to help humanity. You're not gonna hear from them, right? They're there, right? But just like everyone that came to spread a certain form of influence or what them call it, like prophetic words to the people, they become a target, right? So it's not like we don't go through the same scenarios like everybody else. Is how we play out the action moving forward that makes the difference. This is what I think it means when in the Bible story, like taking a hit and then turning the other cheek, right? What I know is not physical because things will get physical.
Yeah, yeah, of course not. It's parables, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like people saying a bunch of things, right? And it's based on energy exchange because everything is energy exchange. No matter what we do, it's about that. What you give, and what you get, what you put in and what you take out. So it's all about that consistent energy exchange. So if an individual come to me every day, right, poking me, and I keep, going around it, right? It's the way how I react changes the whole story,
100%.
right? So if I
100%.
decide I'm going to hit this guy, right, what's going to be the outcome of it? If I decide, like, psychologically saying, mindfully, that, look, come over here, me and you going to sit down and have a discussion. I do not like the way you are, like, provoking me. Yeah? Just say certain things to get in his mind. And me know how to do that. Right? To actually show him a brighter picture like, look, brother, there's much more to life than what you are doing or what you're trying to do. Because at the end of the day, who you think is going to suffer the most? Right? Are you going to make me suffer along the way? You think that's how it is going to be? Remember, it's an energy exchange. What you do here on this planet, it's gonna come back. It always does, right? So me left people to be knowing that, look, you see, time is a cycle, is a rewind of time, is a loop. Just like that infinite eight is a loop. That's what we go through. What you sow is what you're gonna reap. You feel like you disrespect this person along the way and feel like it's gonna be like, oh yeah, happy day. It doesn't work like that. It's going to come back in multiple ways, different, until individuals actually get it right.
Okay. All right. So allow me to interject a couple of things as we're speaking about energy right now and really frequency, everything's vibration, as we say. Two things. We're living in a time, it's all relationship based, but we're expanding on a whole other level today, yeah? We're living in a time, people, as you know, where people seem to really require microwave relationships done in 60 seconds. Yeah? We're looking for this queen and king, and in 60 seconds, nobody want to be like putting in the back work, having a sweat on their brow, especially where now dating apps are involved. And I actually think it's a great invention for those who live, non-sociable lives, and it is what it is. With that being said, people are not really, they're very out of touch with the difference between our parents' time, which for me, I look at it as the black struggle. A lot of our aunties, uncle, grandparents who got together and stayed together. We know that we're not built like that right now anymore based on time transitions and also, I guess, inner corruption as well. So we're very disposable with this modern day life of relationships. Yeah. So I always say when people say again, oh, it's not like the olden days. Our parents got together for many other reasons than we did and stayed together. When it said on the wall, no blacks, Irish or dogs allowed to live here. So when they got together, even if they slept in separate rooms, they were staying together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
again, I emphasize microwave relationships while people are looking for a king and queen but don't want to put the sweat in. Okay.
Sure.
But what's
Yeah.
your thoughts on relationships of in this era and dating, courtship? What are you seeing from where you know, the part of the world that where you live? What's life like in that realm?
All right. The way I see it is that
Mm.
people want this fast thing, all right? Moving too fast. Not realizing that everything began from zero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go on, sip that water, boo boo. Go on.
Everything
Go
began from zero, yeah?
on.
So people jump in steps, right?
Mm,
Important lessons in life.
mm,
Jumping from one all the way to five,
mm-hmm.
right? Missing out very important key lessons in life, all right? And when that happen, people think like, oh, you jump all the way and feel like it's gonna be, lovey-dovey and it's gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
No, you had to take the time out from the beginning to know who you're dealing with.
But you
Know
never
the type of
know. This is what
huh?
I realized, right? I'm gonna be honest with you guys and Andre. From my
Yeah.
experiences, and a wise person once said this to me, no matter how much time you take out, someone's gonna fuck you over, they're gonna fuck you over. All right. There's also, of course,
Mhm.
there's better timing. I don't ever rush anything intentionally, but neither do I hold back intentionally. I'm free flow.
Yeah.
And I work from that mostly, obviously we have the flesh, we have the ego, but mostly I
Mhm.
work from that inner what do we call it, intuition. So you might
Yeah.
meet somebody and it feels like you've known them for ages, whether it's friendship or partnership. Of course it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that we're going to be Hollywood and get married tomorrow, but on the flip side, where's the dating and courtship? Like, why is that such a thing? Like, when I put this to people during the course of my time, especially in the last 5 years, it's like dating. What's that? Dating for me is even when I'm with you 5 years later, we still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Dating is for
that's
me.
true.
Dating is for me, and this is the most important lesson that I've learned over the last, especially 6, 8 years. Even if I'm with you for 10 years, I'm going to be dating myself whilst I'm
Yeah.
dating you. So
Yeah.
thank you for the flowers, darling. But here's the bunch I bought myself too today.
Yes.
That's actually me. And people, it's taken them a while to be like, rah, yeah. Because you have to live and learn. You really have to live and learn. And whether you're with someone or not, whether it ends or whether you're heartbroken or not, continue to date yourself whilst you're dating someone. Even if you're married to them,
True.
date yourself. So everyone always
True.
hears me say, I buy myself flowers. I take myself to hotel spas. Whether I'm single or not, I'm happy to take myself to cinema and dinner by myself.
Mhm.
Because
Love
that's
that. Love
how
that.
I've developed how to love better, is because of how I'm starting to love myself.
True.
And dating myself at all times. Sometimes I'm a terrible date to myself. I mean, I've
Uh-huh.
dated myself for a good 3 months now, I think. But that's how that's progress for me. So talking about relationships, loves, and frequency, we're so caught up with how to pleasure somebody else, how to be accepted by somebody else, how to seek validation and approval. I don't care how strong and bad you are, we all got this thing in us. Okay?
True.
However,
True.
dating myself has been the greatest thing that I started doing over the years. That's my highest frequency I've ever achieved.
Mhm.
What's your
I
thought?
love that. I love that. It goes back to what we said about, having love for self. I'm gonna keep knocking that, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Because when people know how to treat themselves and take care of
Mm.
themselves, they will know what to expect from, the right individual that
Yeah,
comes along
double
the
and
way.
triple that, or there's no point in you,
Yeah, yeah, and then
boo. Yeah.
and then right, with that being said, and what if an individual don't know how to give that, you can teach the individual to say, yo, this is the way I do my thing. You know what I mean? This is the way I like to be, touched, or the feelings that you need to be, felt within you, that's the way you like it, right? So, some people don't know how to treat other people because them don't know how to treat themselves.
I think people has been copy and pasting. That's what I think's going on.
That too, follow fashion.
Yeah. So no, I just
Yeah.
mean where when you say touch, and we're going on to the sensuality now and sexuality of with it's all frequency, guys. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That is very true. What you just said, there's no wrong or right in that. However, alongside that, I would say we all copy and paste. Let's be honest. You didn't try kissing Susan at 12 or me kissing Johnny at 12 and thought, oh, you've learned something from that first kiss. You might have tried that same style on somebody else until they said, I don't like that. It's copy and paste behavior. So I have had to learn, yeah. Am I wrong or am I right?
You're right, yeah, but I was also say that, some people just naturally know how to do things.
Yeah, but one size don't fit all.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's why I have to say to myself, right, we get stuck in our ways. We claim that we want to learn, but we're stuck in our ways, okay? So I've realized, even of late, you know what? I can't transcend any further unless I'm willing to surrender entirely.
Yep.
And surrendering entirely obviously takes trust with myself and then having faith in that person to take care of that surrendering moment. Because that means literally letting go. And by letting go completely, I will learn a whole new rendition of self. I can't learn self any further until I let go and surrender. In the sheets, out of the sheets, life, friendship, we all take on previous experiences. But surrendering totally, how much of us do that? That's where I am now.
True. Agree.
It's like you're like looking for your ideal job and pushing and pushing and pushing, which is what I'm like. But then you keep knocking those doors and it's not moving, then I have to surrender to the universe's time, clearly.
Yeah, have to. Real talk. I agree with that, surrendering to self.
I'm so quiet. It's chit chat with Silver today. So we're just flowing like this. Okay. Guys, how you doing? How are you enjoying the live? Show me some fire flames. Show me some thumbs. Show me some comments. Let me know what's good. Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I see a comment in the inbox. Let's stop for a moment. Yes, take a sip of your water. Let me put on my 2020 visions, okay? And see. Okay. Okay. So a comment has said, sometimes you might have to teach someone how to love themselves. 100%. That's 100%. 100%. Absolutely.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can't go around that for real. Real talk.
100%. I've also realized with that the comment I've just read is that sometimes we're out here picking so many flaws in each other, right? And that obviously builds more discord between whatever was harmonic. And I once said to somebody, be the example you would like me to be. Because I can keep picking fault at you, which we can do. But if I'm not being the example, again, going back to the comment that I've just read, if I'm not being the example of what I'm seeking, am I in a position to pick flaws?
Well, if an individual not, like leading by example, then that, can cause a lot of problems along the way too. For real. So, we gotta, what we speak, we gotta live it.
Yeah.
And what we live.
But do we though? Do we though?
No, I mean, most times we do.
Yeah.
Because, we moving along the way at times, we fall along the way, for real. We get bruised along the way. And it's up to us to look within self again and try to fix, ourselves moving forward. Because just like a vehicle going on the journey has to get maintenance, right? So going forward, we gotta always keep, fixing ourselves, right? patching up what needs to be patched up, not sitting there or standing there or just, feel like giving up on self because of what others have done. Yeah. So now, speaking like this, I gotta live like this, knowing that, yeah, I'm gonna go through the fire, I'm gonna go through the rain. It's gonna be painful at times, but it's how you deal with it. You gotta find strength. Sometimes, as individuals, we don't have the strength alone to fix ourselves. We need other people, right? And this is where, the connection between, that significant other or, people who you just have in your circle for help, to reach out to and say, yo, look, I need to talk to you. Something, you know what I mean? And we need each other. No matter, we talk about knowing self first, which is key, but we need other people, because this is how we grow. Each one teach one and build one to become more of self, more life, more love, more essence, right? That's the balance also between one person and us, the individuals, right? So we always have that connection and the ripple effect along with it.
So let me ask you then, as you talk a lot about, which is great, oneness and harmony and vibration, which we know is frequency in relationships or just in general life, can you possibly give some of our viewers, and even reinforcing it within myself, like how you go about your daily ritual or general journey of maintaining a oneness? What does that look like for you? Like, what is oneness to you in terms of how you maintain that or how you reach that?
All right, so I'm gonna break it down. Like,
get into it.
I've learned how to survive in life. Hungry days, rough days, scenarios where, just feel like give up in a life and just say, yo, that's it.
100%.
Sometimes, back then I didn't know to express myself because my heart chakra was distant. It's like it was turned off and turned on sometime the way it want to, based on the fact that there was so much going on in my area, right? A lot of killing, a lot of people with depressional and anxiety and all of that vibration, all right? That affect me as a person who know what an empath is, right? Who know the frequency of love. So that was a struggle that I rose from, right? So knowing the survival state of life and how to express myself right now and standing in my own power, right? My own frequency, my own strength, right? Standing in that, give me the confidence to speak my truth, which is that energy from my heart space that power up the rest of my body, right? So that oneness, when I first woke up to all the craziness of this world, it was like communicating with a more divine part to myself, where I started to explore my life more, right? Figuring things out through a way that them call it epiphany or, just sudden realization of things. When we really rise up out of the dark and realize what was taking place, I had to surrender to myself, as I said before.
Right.
Yeah, so taking care of my body, like eating from the earth was my thing. Like when I was in Jamaica, yeah, me have to find them coconut and them mango and them banana. They fi just chop them up and blend them up and drink them up and know. Say, yeah, I want that real source of life flowing through me. So basically on that journey now, when I realize them thing, they're like, yo, what I put in becomes a part of me.
So are
not
you
just
plant-based as well? Are you also, like, we are similar in that way? Are you plant-based?
Well, honestly, right now, I would say more like not just plant-based, but elements. That's what I deal with, the elements, right? Because let me just try to break it down. Since, as I said, right, the elements is what make us up, right? Solid food makes us grounded, right? No matter what solid food you eat is going to keep people heavy. right? Because that's what solid does. Solid state, solid food helps us to be grounded. Now, the liquid state, help the blood to flow. It's all about fluid. How your blood circulating within the body. Now, the fire is based off of that Aries energy, the fire element of the physical body, how you express your physical self, right? Now, the air is how you're breathing, how you're using your breath. Do you know that you can vitalize your whole system by just taking like 5 minutes out of your day to just I exhale, having that breath flow, right? And then after that, connecting with that all that element of life, right? You're able to transition to a higher form of realization, a higher part of yourself. Now you're able to connect with what soul vibration is. So some people realize this now, that you don't really have to eat like how they say you must eat.
Preach to the choir, please, because I'm tired of telling people this. People are just eating and yamming and yamming and yamming. Go into it. I'll just go into it, please.
Me used to stare like that too, just a yam down the place.
People don't
get more.
Go on, please.
Sorry, get more lazy because what that does is keep people stagnant. Now, the people who have more fire in them, that's in their birth chart, they're able to mash up all that food and still have enough energy if you burn it off. Based on blood type also, based on an individual blood type, they can, just burn that off real quick. But what about the people that will not have that drive, all of that fire within them? They accumulate all of that food and become stagnant. Right? Because them think that eating this and eating that is going to give them more strength when it's not actually like that. Right? It's understanding what goes within your system and what works with your energy. Everybody is different, I know. But what we put into ourselves should, boost our energy, boost us up, give us that extra drive to continue. So you have some people say plant-based and this and that. If a person truly, really spiritual, right, really in tune with themselves, they don't have to eat food. They work from the elements which are cosmic. The highest level of gaining energy is through cosmic alignment. That's why I say function from that oneness. I take my time out to do my daily rituals like my meditation, my inhale and exhale, and just find that peace and love within myself every day.
Okay, so let me jump straight in. All right, so in terms of Andre saying that we don't need food at all, I would say there has to be a disclaimer because neither of us are doctors and have, I have to be very mindful of what we're sharing on here as well. Okay, so I would have to say at this point of that particular statement, that's have to be personal for you until we can come up with evidence to share with people on that note. Yeah, because that's quite serious. Someone may just stop eating tomorrow, and I'll be responsible for that. So I won't. No. Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying though. I'm not saying that, right? Because as I said before, everyone is different. I'm not saying that people should just stop eating them food that they will love so much.
But just so people understand, because the question I put to Andre was, if you can recap, which is, how you, as you refer a lot to oneness and harmony of, within self, relationships, etc. So my question to you was, like, how do you maintain that vibration of oneness, consistency? And you were sharing with us the different things that you feel is ideal for you, according to your experience and journey, maybe even research. As for me, the elements of capturing oneness, I'm not always in alignment 24 hours a day. I'm not. Yeah. So when I am in alignment, what I do to help that is morning rituals, not reaching for my phone to be seeing who's messaged me or what's on social media. It's getting up and saying a gratitude prayer. First of all, vision, hearing, sight, everything. I really feel that gratitude. If I'm really good in that day, I will then go into doing breath work, shower, then have a full body stretch, and then a gentle meditation, which can be more, again, breath work, self-awareness, or affirmations. Yeah. And that very much helps me with my oneness. and also helps, you know, de-stress me at times where I can get, oh. Also, what also helps me is spending time in nature, forests, grounding my feet in the soil and connecting from that earth, Mother Earth, Father Sky. Those connections help me. Yeah. So going on to now food, wow. For me, I found when I gave up eating meat in 2014, that was the beginning of a conscious awareness for me. First of all, it was giving up the pork from my 20s, then it was no meat at all. I have fish occasionally. My favorite dietary when I'm at my best self is 1 meal a day. Yeah, that's my personal 1 meal a day. And other than that, fruits in the morning, fruits, you know, during the afternoon, 1 meal a day when I get home, and fasting between 16 and maybe 26 hours, 4 to 5 days a week, and then do what I want on 2 days a week. That's a lifestyle for me.
Yeah.
And that has allowed me to be more at one, more disciplined, more enlightened, and definitely closer to my own divinity.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for me anyway.
I mean, that's one of the best way how to do it. You know, to
We don't
find
eat all that food. We do not. I've done my own personal research for myself. I'm not saying that you guys should go and do it. And from my understanding so far, this 3 meals a day was obviously given from Victorian times to create order, because we were just eating all times, all day, and they needed to do that to create order. So I don't take on as much Western doctrine as I did before. So for me, I know I don't need to be eating constantly. It's a bad habit. And I always say to people, to be honest, teach their own, but the relationship you have with food speaks volumes. That's it.
Sure.
Not everyone eats because they're hungry. It's a habit. You're constantly, it's a relationship you have with food equals how the relationship you have with yourself.
Sure.
So that's
Very
how
much so.
I find this, you know?
Yeah. I love that sort of same way, because I started off just like that, you know, like when I realized that, you know, we've been hijacked, right? I start just going in and finding that space of oneness and know what works with me. You know, what my body is saying, what my spirit is saying, what my mind is saying, you know, and have that flow going on, that I can be true to myself, real to myself. Not because they say, you know, all of them say, you know, is what my inner source of being is saying to me.
100%.
Right? In a more positive state of vibration, real state of vibration. Not no thoughts jumbling around in my head, but that one voice that represents who I am, you know, in that sweet tone, heavenly tone. Yeah, that's that vibration I'm working with, because that voice is not going to say, yo, you know, say if he box down that boy there and kick off him face. No, we not deal with that, right? In a one way I can say, I'm going to protect what I love. I'm going to protect truth. I'm going to protect rights. I'm going to protect people who stand up in this oneness and want to do good in their life, right? That's a more warrior way of, you know, like protecting that. Because people think, like, when you talk about love and you express yourself, you know, say, oh, you love and you just love that vibration, they feel like you're weak. No, love is the highest frequency we have to communicate with the Almighty, right? That's the only way you can hear the voice of what them call God speaking in your mind, or speaking within. So when we speak about love, it's not no fenke love or dry love. We're talking about real love or unconditional love that continues to connect us in the harmonious state of vibration.
So allow me
When
to
people
ask you,
yeah,
push on to the part that I know you want to touch on, which is interracial relationships. It's all relationship based as we drift through the different elements of that, today. Before we get to that, you hit that point. I was trying to not go into that, but I'm glad I'm tempted now to go into that a little bit with you. Firstly, I done a video many years ago, and it's on one of the old YouTubes now. And I speak about, I do not subscribe to unconditional love. I'm not a woman that's going to be saying, I'm looking for unconditional love and I'm going to give you, no, because my love comes with conditions. Yeah. And if you look up the word conditional, unconditional, let's get it right. If you Google it right now, not even my opinion, it means boundaries, margins, and restraints. Okay. So I don't make up my own meanings. A lot of people are looking for this unconditional love or say that they got it. But yet you've broken up, you've got back together. You've broken up, you've got back together. You've split up, you've divorced, you've moved on. If it was unconditional, you wouldn't have to leave them, ever. Because there's no conditions.
Exactly. But I love the way you said that.
Get it right when you're speaking about unconditional for what it means, not what you want it to mean. Loving without conditions. Even my creator that I believe made me, for those who believe in heaven and whatever else, there's conditions to get to heaven, apparently. Did you not know that? The Most High loves you, right?
Who is the Most High?
No, I'm just, whether it's he or she, that's what, for those who believe. Yeah, you may see yourself as a God, but that's a whole nother conversation. For those who refer to the Most High, the Creator, God, whatever, there's still in that doctrine conditions to get to the next level with he or she's love. So who am I as a human being to offer somebody or ask for unconditional love? But that's a whole nother subject. But as you touched on it, that's my stance. I don't seek it and I can't offer it.
That's true. And I agree with you. I'm not going to disagree with nothing you said.
I don't do fairy tale out here.
But what I can say is that the love that I'm talking about, right, is a divine order, right? I'm not talking about the love that human beings know it to be. Because human beings are corrupt, right? And them store up all sort of misleading information, not just in them mind, but in them heart and them body also, right? So the love that I'm speaking about has to be, you have to earn it. I know something you just can't feel like you know, under the type of energy where you can feel like you just get on, it's gonna put people through a test.
Are you hearing yourself? Are you hearing yourself though? As you touched on unconditional multiple times through this talk, I've definitely got to clarify that. So then you go on to say, I don't mean this love, I mean the divinity. But then you're saying they have to earn it. That's a massive condition, bro. That's not unconditional.
No, unconditional love. All right, let me put it in my own perspective. Let's say it like that.
It means what it means. Now, here's what I'm going to challenge you. You see my point, audience? Yeah? What it means is what it means. We humans like to make up our own words to suit ourselves. No. Unconditional, I can Google it. I can go on Google right now and type it in. And it's not going to say what Silver on Andre thinks it means. No. If you say someone has to earn it and go through tests or trials, as you just said, that's a massive condition, bro.
Well, all right, let me explain myself.
You speak unconditional, but you don't give unconditional. You see my point?
Let me understand where you're coming from. I totally understand. Because, all right, this whole spelling of words, right, can, make me look bad. Because when I try to explain this word, cannot really give the real meaning that I want to give. So I have to say unconditional love, because the love that we're supposed to be giving shouldn't be conditioned in the first place.
Someone said that to me today in the inbox. It may still be on the live. Yeah.
Yes, so when we're talking about this unconditional love, it's one frequency. One frequency, right? Where nobody should be like, I feel like I'm loving, but me don't know. I feel like I love her, but me don't know. No, once you know that one alignment, that one source of divine vibration, that's what I talk about. So, me don't really want to get it mixed up like what the word actually means, right? Because it goes way further than that. But that's the only word me can use.
We're not in that place. We're not in that realm. So that's why I've got to keep it realistic. The ideals are always going to be ideals. You know, so that's the ideals. We can all talk about ideals, but frequency, vibrations, ideals, it's still like perfection. But as we roll on to the next part of what you want to also flow with, which is interracial relationships, do you feel, let me go straight in with this question, do you feel where you are an advocate of oneness, yeah, and promote oneness and harmony, do you feel a direct Caucasian white person and a direct person of color, black person, can have the oneness and harmony? I don't mean what we say we want. Do you think it's possible, frequency-wise, the unequally yoked, to have that oneness?
No, but all right, I'm put it like this. But then the belief that I had about, you know, interrelationship, you know, was totally different because me never grasp it to be what me know right now. And it was done to individuals genetically knowing that, all right, your bloodline is different, right, from my bloodline, right? And going into intimacy and having that sexual connection can change a whole lot through the bloodline, right? Meeting up two bloodlines together to, you know, it can either say that it makes it worse or it heal that bloodline. You know? So to find that oneness, I'm gonna go back to it, is based on that love me I talk about, yeah? That true divine love. If two, this is the vehicle of my body, right? Another person have their vehicle of their body. No, over the years we've been conditioned with multiple lies, right? That contradicts our mind to believe like, oh, this ethnic group and this ethnic group is that, right? And through the years, these, what we could call them now, inorganic beings who came here and hijack our planet, they used the white race for a perfect reason, right? Because this is my perspective or my hypothesis right now. I'm going to look deeper into it. I believe that the original race of this planet are people, their genetical coding cannot be modified. Right? So they had to use a specific race of people to bring out a certain sort of order or betrayal, put it like that. No, man and woman are the yin and the yang always should come together to multiply life. Now, life can be so beautiful in different multiple ways without hate and all of that foolishness, because the creator, our creators, their self are ordained life to be multiplied, to build more life and continue life through multiplicity, creativity. That's what nature does. But look, we are not animals. We are more than what the animals is, right? We are more than what they are. They can only function like that because they were created like that. You will never see a monkey and a lion doing no foolishness together, all right? You'll never see that because they don't have the ability to do that.
Their own kind, right?
Exactly, they stick to their own kind, right? Which is right in our own ethnic group to stay with our groups of people, but the world changing so much ways that we're going through this multi-vibrational state, universal intertwinement to create, a beautiful way of life. Now, with that said, we're not gonna knock nobody that see love in another group of people. That's, if you really, really going from a state of love, then that's fine. If you're only looking at the person and say, oh, I just love how him look, or you love her body shape, and you're just going off of physicality, that not gonna make no sense. A more problem that, right? So if them not function from that, connectivity, you get to know a person, you know what I mean? Feel them vibration. Do you really love that person, or are you just saying that, that person looks good, if they have money? Because that's not gonna function properly.
Allow me to interject.
Yeah.
Not everyone we meet is supposed to be a love team, my friend.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Therefore, we don't have to have that perception on our journey. I'm not supposed to go about my love and my life seeking everyone I meet to love. So
No.
we don't even have to have that, for me, that concept. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
If you had 10 women in your, 20 women, 30 women in your whole life, did you love every single one of them? You'd be burnt out. How much versions of you can you, that's how I feel though. So I can honestly say less than a handful in my life can I say I loved. Because you have in love different to saying I love.
True.
In love is very fickle. It's like the weather. You pissed me off today, my in love is gone, they come back next week. But to say from a grounding perspective, I love you, which can mean I'm not even with you still, but I remove myself, but I love you. But I don't feel like we're not all here to love in a personal, intimate way with everyone we meet. So if someone looks at me or someone looks at you and it's purely physical, that's not, I don't think that's wrong either. We're spiritual beings going through a human experience. That man didn't come to love me. It's up to me whether I accept his invitation of lust.
That's true. That's true, but I'm looking at it at a state where that's what people think love is, right? And they get mixed up with, you know, looking at a individual and say, oh, you know, that feeling like, oh, you know, that person give them the chills, and they get so intertwined with that, knowing that, you know, they don't really feel the way they really feel about the person. They're just only looking at the physical state of the individual. And they go into a relationship because of that, right? Not searching the inner part of themselves first and to see what that individual carry within them also. So when we say physicality is like, you know, that's how some people love, which, yeah, you can see somebody and you like the way them look, yes, but what I'm trying to say is that some people go into relationship, you know,
Your volume's gone down a little bit. I'm not sure what's happened.
just getting a phone call.
You're fine now. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that some people, in what they do is use the physicality and say, yo, they love somebody, when love is mostly on the innermost space, right? I mean, you can look on a person, admire the person, yes, and yeah, if you like, I want to know more about that individual. But what some people do is based on the beauty, what they see, right? What they see with the physical eyes, and them
Well, we
run
eat
into
with our eyes,
relationship.
don't we? That's the first. You go to a restaurant. See, with me, I'm advocate. That's why sometimes I drop bars that I may not even subscribe to, but I have to be advocate because obviously one size don't fit all. Yeah. So, for an example, I've been told. I remember in a couple of occasions rejecting people that I wasn't attracted to, and they saw that as shallow. I said, all right, let me do this experiment. If I'm not physically attracted to that person at all, and it's just vibration, then no problem. Let's get together. We can never sleep together. Think about what I'm saying. It's not realistic, right? To see where I'm going with this. So I said, okay, you think it's shallow. Just doing the exercise with this person. I was never going to fulfill it. I can be with you. We can get married. We can live the life, but there's no intimacy whatsoever. How could that be? I said, now you're being shallow. Because you're expecting a woman who's not attracted to you physically to have intimacy with you, and then I can be with you but not be intimate. Do you see the ridiculousness of what I'm trying to show you here? So for me, when I go to a restaurant, if I took you to a restaurant and the waiter bought a terrible looking meal in a terrible presentation and said, but it's good for you, it's going to feed you nutritionally, would you still eat it?
Can't eat that.
But why?
Well, that, you know, meal is not what I want.
Oh no! I mean a meal. If you were taken to a restaurant and the food was displayed in an awful manner that was to your personal visual acceptance, but you can see on the menu it's got high value in nutrition. how it's displayed will have an effect on you wanting to eat it in the first place. So let's keep the thing real.
But realistically saying, right, you know, that's food. I'm gonna love how you break that down too, but
Analogy. But that's how I have to be real with myself. If someone is not presenting themselves in an attractive manner, or how they put themselves together, how you manifest your own lack of self-care, I'm supposed to appreciate you and be seen as shallow if I don't, because it's about the inner. If I give you a food served to you upside down, it's the same principle.
well, all right, put it like this. Most people like to love them sweet things, right? Them love to eat them good stuff there, you know. But what I realize people normally do is they miss out that bitter, right? They see that bitter will have the healing substance in it. Nobody wants it. You know why? Because it's bitter, right? So you know, if you put down something that is bit in a cup that has bitter substance, and you put down a juice, which one do you think people gonna take?
The juice, of course.
Yes, but what has the ingredients to heal the individual? They don't want it.
So bring it back to the interracial, so you can hit more points on that, as that's something I know you wanted to go into a little bit further. Yeah. As I asked you, do you feel like we can have? You speak about vibration and oneness. Do you think it's possible to have oneness with a totally different race to yourself, in your opinion and from your observation?
If those people truly know themselves, yeah.
Okay.
Only if they truly know themselves.
Are
like,
you a brother that has experienced dating a Caucasian lady? And I don't mean mixed race, I mean direct white woman. You being a brother, and what that's been like for you on a vibrational level during the course of that journey, what it's been like for you?
not sexually, but I've spoken with, you know, white women, and they always give off that vibe like them understand me, like they get where I'm coming from. Maybe based on how me speak, or they see something in me.
Is it possible though for them to get you?
Yes, possible.
Okay.
Possible. You know what I mean? Living in a world like this right now, it depends on people, you know, how they function. Right? It depends. But I do see where a black woman and a white man can meet through that level of vibration, knowing, you know, themselves to a certain degree. Because we've been whitewashed along the way on so much different levels.
Right, I'm hearing a lot of feedback.
Oh, I know why.
Just so we can be clear. That's a lot better. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a lot better. All right. So you feel that as long as it depends on us and how we vibrate, and even though even scripturally we talk about unequally yoked, you feel like, and I haven't given my opinion, that's just me asking you because it's something you want to discuss. You feel like we can be one.
Yeah, that's where the world is heading to. You know what I mean? Being in oneness, vibrating in that state of love, done with the hate, the killing, the disturbance of the flow of the universe, the omniverse, the multiverse, which is within you and me. No longer should hate continues to contradict us and keep us on a low vibratory field, right? At times we heal from those past traumas, dramas that, you know, there has to be a change along the way. And what I'm seeing coming forward is that grace of oneness, where people reach that utopia within the state of their mind first, to actually see what life is about, right? We are the ones that cause the problem within this world, that even the animals live in the way they live in.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Right? If we take care of Mother Nature the way we're supposed to, right? We heal the way we're supposed to, right? There are certain inorganic beings on this planet that's causing the problem in all the groups of people. And it's based on how we're using this and how we're evolving this. Based on mind and heart connection that gives that full power to the body, which is a soul vibration. So in order for we to get this right, we have to know ourselves, yeah? And go back to that state of oneness, balance.
I know you were speaking to me on our previous call about wanting to also touch upon the divinity of self. And is this what you would classify as the epitome of knowing thyself, the divinity of self, or would you have to fine tune that a little bit further as we draw to a slow close to this talk tonight?
Oh yeah. All right. So basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
We heard about the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine energy, right? We heard about the dragon and the phoenix. We heard about DNA and RNA, right? Now, this cycling and flow of energy. We have this physical body that we can see, but there are different levels of bodies to what we have. We know about the spectrum of light, right? From the red to the violet. Right, the rainbow color that them twist up and call it all sort of names nowadays, right? But we vibrate on colors also, right? Different shades of colors and bringing that beauty of life. Now, that oneness of self leads to the heavenly thought, where the inner eye becomes very clear to one to see the clarity of this existence and way beyond this existence, to communicate not just with this physical realm, but also with higher entities that can tune into the frequency of that love vibration, that only vibration that can get us to where we need to be on that level, that liberation of the mind. Because the only way we make it to what they call heaven is the access to the energy that lives within the heart space, the balance. Because it's a thousands of years more powerful than what we think our mind is. This is where the soul frequency connects to the knowing of self and to the knowing of this realm that we are living in. Only through that oneness, that straight and narrow, that Jacob's ladder, that Kundalini energy, that's the only way we can experience that knowing, right? The balance between the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the brain, the balance to the chamber of the heart, to the body itself. So based upon a sexual vibration, a heart vibration, and a mind vibration, you access what they call the Trinity, right? And through that Trinity, those stronger areas are the strongest sensation, are the strongest energy flows for a reason, because one control the body, one control the frequency, and the other control thoughts, which is ether, a higher form of what air is, right? So it depends on if we are actually speaking from self, which is self, or we're just speaking from thoughts. Which one of them? You know, because we have all of them thoughts that circulating, you know. All of them thoughts are circulating within our dome, right? Because we pick up so much frequency along the day from here, there, and everywhere. And if a person is vibrating on a lower vibratory field, right, depends the thoughts coming in now. What type of thoughts coming in when an individual is vibrating on a lower vibratory field? Now, this is where, you know, they want to keep people on a lower vibratory field, which them call the feminine energy. And don't get me wrong when I say that. I'm going to fix what I said. All right? The feminine, the magnetic energy is what holds life and sustain it to a degree. But we need energy flow. We need the energy to flow, not the energy to be stagnant. No, they want to keep the feminine energy down and to keep the feminine energy suppressed. No, that dragon that they're talking about, that they want to keep in the pit of hell, right, is symbolic to the spiral energy at the tip of our spine, right, which is connected to, you know, a deeper, you know, form of life that we're not going to get into today or for you tonight, right? These people corrupt our natural flow. And when I say these people, I'm talking about these inorganic beings that live on our planet, right? they turn us against each other in a manipulative way by using thoughts. Now they scare the day we find love, because only love can set us free. All right. So when me say me vibrating at that oneness, yo, me prefer love myself as long as me live to the most divine core, the sweetest way me can love myself. I'm gonna love myself like that. That he or she and them cannot love me like how I love me. Right? That's the love that I have for myself. Me stay in that. Anybody that come to corrupt or influence my state of love, that have my mind clear, you can't be around me, because me I go realize say, oh, you don't understand my flow of life. So you over there, so stay over there until you can gain that or attain that or reach that. Maybe you just have to live out your life the way you're
How about
supposed to live it out.
to accept that? And the reason why I say that, another thing that I've had to accept in the surrendering of my journey of surrendering, I got a long way to go, yeah, is I haven't been tailor-made to come on this planet to understand you. And I shouldn't be sent over there because I don't understand you. It may be a stranger at a bus stop that understands what you don't. If you're my, you know, imagine you're my husband for 25 years, and I may take it out on you that you don't understand. You wasn't created to understand everything about silver. Human beings in themselves just about understand themselves. So how dare I expect you to understand me? But we do that to each other as human beings. We do. Whether you're mother, father, friend, brethren, well, how can you not understand? Hang on a minute. Do you understand everything about yourself? No, because every day we're transforming, whether it's regression or progression. So the main thing I've learned is I don't have to understand everything about you as friend, lover, partner, son, whatever, but I can try to accept. And if not, then at least acknowledge.
True.
And that's got to be good enough.
That's beautifully said. At least
Gotta
acknowledge.
be good enough. Because I may not accept what you're telling me or how you're behaving, or what you're asking, but do I acknowledge? An acknowledgement with certain things that I've experienced would have had me stay in a relationship with certain men, you know. Not the agreeing. They thinking you don't have to agree with Silver, but did you acknowledge?
True.
Because that in itself is unconditional respect.
True. Wow. I love that. I'm gonna drink some water.
In order to get to that state of understanding of self.
Yeah, you know, this kind of reasoning is mind-provoking. That's why, like, when I talk to people, it's gonna reach the heart space, because that's where people need to transform to meet them true self, them divine self. Right? It's gonna touch the core. It's gonna reach in them heart. It's either them gonna hate me or dislike me or something, but that's where them need to make them transition to reach to where them need to reach. Now, if them can't reach it, that's not my problem, right? We're just here to teach it and make sure that, you know, what me do is from the state of that vibratory feel of love, that oneness, that, you know, some people might overstand, some might not, but, you know, it's just the process of life, right? As I said, not everybody will gain what you're saying, not everybody will love you, not everybody will acknowledge, you know, who you be and give you some respect. But the one who, the people, the small few that come and say, yo, you know, I respect you, you know, you say it's things that, you know, make me really look into life. Now I'm going to look in their life and say to myself, like, there's something different about that individual, right? They find something that a lot of people don't find yet.
Yeah.
And that's my way of acknowledging them, because if they can acknowledge what I carry, it must be a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let me touch on one more thing before we bring this to a close. Yeah. You touched on it and then you backed off, but I'm going to bring you there a little bit tonight before we go.
Yeah.
Oneness. Harmony. You mentioned, you know, the certain chakras involving the spine and where it leads and where it evokes and even provokes. So tell me, my brother, according to what you feel, experience, and think, how can someone raise their sexual vibration and frequency in the bedroom? Whether it's a poor discord relationships, I have my theory for what works for me. Half of the things I've never experienced before is my ideals, but for you and your journey and oneness, during the course of your life, you don't have to be personal if it's too much for you. You can just give snapshots of how that can evolve. And how could someone, if I came to you and I was like, you know what, vibrationally it's dead in the bedroom, it's beyond just watching a video now or watching Kama Sutra and learning positions, it's a vibration discording, what would you say? I'd like to hear part of your opinion on that as I get real close and listen.
All right. But I've noticed, right? Men and women, right? With men, we need nurturing, right? And sometimes we meet up and, women who, they expect too much from us, not, keeping it real. Like, some women feel like the man's supposed to be doing everything.
Like what?
Right?
Give us some examples. I'm coming back to you in a minute. So like
the foreplay and all of that necessary, yeah. But a woman should always bring that nurturing energy to the bedroom, right? We're searching for that feminine vibration, even if it's in the voice. When I hear that sound, everything's supposed to get up. Right,
okay,
because
so all right, so that you're being general now, yeah. There's brothers on this live. There's people. So please, guys, let me know if this is true. Do you always want that loving, feminine, nurturing woman in the bedroom as an introduction? Is that gonna have the sunrise for you? Carry on.
all right. Based on that, what you said, yeah, we need that feminine energy to spark us to. Some men will go and just do them thing. Yeah, man, that's great. We turn on the woman also. We lift up the woman also. We ignite the woman with that flame also, right? But what's missing to really, really connect that flow of energy, which is electromagnetism also, is that man bringing his flame, which is his masculinity and his full self. Either that masculine and feminine energy is one within itself, right? And the woman bringing that too. That's live currency right there. So when you plug in, you generate energy flow same way, right? So what's missing to me is the fundamental principles of what sex is. Is that energy exchange. What are you giving? What are you pouring out? Are you being your true self? Huh? Are you giving... Yeah, are you giving the essence of you? For some man, they just want to go and star up the show. Nothing wrong with that, because you know what you want.
Star up nothing, but that's a whole nother conversation. Carry on.
Yeah, but the true state of it is a man and woman coming in matrimony.
Yeah.
To create something powerful. Right? Heaven gate's supposed to open up going through that vibration. Because it's sacred. It's charging up all the chakras within the body. That's why them say sexual healing. Right?
I'm going to go into it, but go into it.
Sexual healing, that's what we need. Because when you have that pure connectivity going on, you're healing self. It's a flow of energy, that divine source light up the body. Right? It gives the body chills. So right now in relationships, them daddy something that now go on, yeah, man, cause you're lowering down the vibration. It's not all about, say, oh, you just want to have sex with the woman, and it's all about, having sex and that's it, just to, lose some water. No, it's a building. It's a building something, right? It's much more than just getting on a woman and say, oh, you just want to have sex, just a quickie. No, man. In more than that, a woman should always know, say, yo, the boy there, or the man there, no, you want to be charged up, right? And a man should know, say, yo, him want to be charged up, because this is a charging. Yeah, this is a cycling of energy exchange. You need that energy to be flowing. electromagnetism. So we're vibrating on that sexually. Words can't explain how effective and powerful that is.
Okay.
Right? As a man, that's what I'm looking for. But as a man, we don't normally get that. And women, we know how they're looking for the same thing, but they don't normally get that. Right? But in order for us to achieve that powerful vibration of each other, we gotta come to realization that we need to build each other. We need to explore with each other. Right? This is not just say, I know you just want to have sex with a woman because she look beautiful. You know, or a woman want to have sex with a man because he have money. You know, that's not the order of what it's supposed to be. This is way beyond. This is what brings life into existence. This is creativity behind our wireless imagination. This is the law force of creativity. Man and woman coming together to form that electric magnetic flow of continuous energy.
Yeah.
Light.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to go to the comments shortly. See a couple of comments, I think, from Crown Jewels. Big up yourself, my darling. All right. You said that so majestically, and it's so thought evoking and soul evoking on that matter. I think for me, all right, life experiences. Firstly, if everything is energy and frequency, whether we are aware of it or not, whether you are identify yourself as spiritual or not, from you hit the bedroom, from you exchange that kiss, anyway, it's an energy exchange. That's firstly. Yeah. I love when you said that, you know, bringing the femininity to the bedroom. But unfortunately, many males are not topped up with the masculinity. So unfortunately, I'm going to be real with you. It's not me kind of trying to disrespect anybody on this particular topic, but where there's often masculinity lacking with some males, you will find that females like me overspill because they're lacking in that. So I can be the aggressor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see you smiling now. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I don't always want to take that position. I can. So in order for me to just to fulfill the part that you said, as I carry on, for me to fulfill that total softness in femininity, he has to be all masculine alpha for a girl like me.
Yeah.
That's just a woman like me, though, because of how I stay. Or I will find it hard to surrender to that naturality that I'm supposed to have, which is feminine. That's something I've observed throughout my relationships. Yeah, different levels of masculinity. I'll be able to then repress some of that overspill because he's got it. I don't have to project that. Yeah. Now, also, I think being technical now, I feel like a lot of us don't even comprehend that if you're lacking skills in the bedroom, or if you're lacking keeping that passion pursuing, please be open. Turn off the Netflix, turn it off. Yeah, turn off your Game Boy, whatever you're playing. Go and put on something that's educational. Tantric, the Tantric exchange, the Kama Sutra. These are really educational. You'll never stop learning, I think, technically, of how to keep flames burning. I've told somebody in my past, listen, you're not really taking me seriously in terms of what I'm not happy with. Are you open to learning through this vessel? They really wasn't. So I think the ideals are always going to be our spiritual energy, enlightenment, but it's not in real life, depending on where someone else is at on their journey. It's not always that simple. And you might always be, I don't want to be the breastfeeding woman I need you to lead.
Yeah.
I will, and take me off the cliff in the bedroom sometimes. I don't want to always be leading. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit. I'm being real, yeah. So we both need to. Ideally, for me, again, I'm in this wonderful headspace to explore myself with, and I'm in this place where I say this: the best kind of lover right now in ideals, whether you've been with them for 10 years or 10 minutes, is: are you willing to relearn everything you've learned?
Wow. Real talk. Real
When I
talk.
assess where I've gone wrong, where it's gone wrong, where we have gone wrong, we've come with a whole barrage of who we are, accept me for who we are. It's two new people together. Of course, we're going to come with isms because it's in us. It's a journey we've had before these, the individual that we met now or last year. However, I must be willing to relearn and rediscover, unearth myself over and over and over in order for him to enjoy me. He needs to be willing to listen both ways. So my thing is rediscovery. How do we keep reinventing ourselves? Number one, ladies, go and get a trunk, fill it with different wigs and make that a part of your prop too. Yeah, you may not want to cheat if you have different women every night, blonde hair one night, red hair the next. Make it exciting. It's still role play. You know, go into the fields, go into the forest, make love. Why does it have to always be so orthodox? I'm very unorthodox, and that's why I get bored easily with people, because you're in this rigid mindset of what you see on the TV. But who are you outside of that? What do you need? Again, let me meet the boy in that man. Let's start over.
True. Find that flame.
Right? And the reason why that's so important as I close this live is because I have realized, and this is so important now beyond all laugh and skin tea on this show tonight, a lot of our sexual acts and desires is trauma-based. A lot of, if you really assess and go deep in yourself, everyone think about this for one moment. The things you like or may cross your mind may be a bit left. Ask yourself, where did that come from? Where did the influence come from? Was it watched? Was it imposed upon you as a child? Was it abuse? There's a lot of trauma that we filter through sex and the acts that we want. And it's getting more and more severe what people want. And they call it just being freaky. Some of it's downright dangerous.
True.
And downright sexually corruptive to self. Even if we indulge in it. Let's be honest. So sex has its light and its darkness. And obviously, we have to embrace both to be true to ourselves. I don't mean do both, but embrace the light with the dark of the reality of it all. But sex, yes, is an energy exchange. But really ask yourself why you like the things you like. You may actually surprise yourself of where it's come from.
Yeah.
And then you have the sexual blockages of why you're never fulfilled, because they may be sexual blockages for trauma or dissatisfaction and so on. So yeah. For me, in me of great vibrational sex and intimacy is, for me, the epitome of vulnerability and surrendering and being willing to reinvent yourself and relearn the same partner you've been with for years. But they have to all also be reinventing themselves. That's the ideals as far as I'm concerned.
Sure. Lovely, son. I love that. I love
all
that.
Right. So as we bring this chit chat with Silver tonight to a close, one last question for you, Andre. We do something called afterthoughts. So after every conversation, I ask my guest speaker, what are your afterthoughts? How has it been for you tonight with me on Free Flame Thoughts?
As I said, this is free-flowing thoughts, right? We're flowing just like electromagnetism, just like that yin and yang. We're flowing, and that's what we need to, do as people. Not judge, but, listen, right? Everybody has a different perspective.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right? Your perspective can give my perspective a brighter reality, vice versa, right? Yeah, so it's all about, are you comfortable in yourself to actually listen, take in, retain, and, take what you want and what you don't want, right? So it's all about that balance. You the yin, me the yang. Free-flowing thoughts.
So before we go, let me read the little comments. It's tonight's so different. I love the chit-chat when it's more kicked back and you're just holding a reasoning. So it's been really nice tonight. Let's see. We got Mr. Crown Jewels. Yeah, big up Mr. Crown Jewels. That's my guy. Okay, old friend from way back. He's saying things like true, need balance in life skills. Let's go back. Sometimes the comments go ghost and I don't know why. Yeah. Okay. So, Andre,
I'm
thank
here.
you so much for gracing us with your presence. It's been a really nice reasoning, chopping it up on the free flow.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Okay.
I do appreciate you for having me here, taking the time out to present all of this right here for other people to, get some other ways of, thinking, different perspectives and so much more. So, it was a pleasure being here.
Oh, ditto, ditto. Well, we'll do a part 2 at some time. It's going to be great. For now, thank you so much,
Definitely.
Andre, for joining me tonight on Free Flame Thoughts. Feel free to exit yourself on the right, or is it your left? I'm not sure. The little cross on it.
Man, I see it right there. Peace, love, higher vibration. All right.
Always.
Love.
Namaste.
Let's stay. All right.
See ya. Okay, guys, so while he's buffering to disconnect, thank you so much for those of you who joined us tonight. I hope you got something from it, even if it's thought evoking for you. Join me back here this Friday. Actually, I have somebody else coming on, but wait for the promo to find out who. He's still buffering. Guys, have a wonderful night. See you on Friday. Peace.